right, David. So I'm going to give you this paper that's got a reading comprehension passage on it. All right. And we're going to take this passage and we're going to basically chunk it down. All right. So you're going to use your highlighter to highlight key things that you think is important while we read. And then we're going to answer questions. But we're going to pull those key information from our questions. Okay. All right. So let's start from the beginning, all right? So it says, are you an internet addict? Do you think you go on the internet too much? No, not really. No, maybe at school. Do you use the internet a lot at school? Yeah. All right, so it says, experts say that millions of people around the world are one click away from online addiction. Do you think that's true? I don't know, maybe so. I mean, social media is a big deal, right? All right, so the internet is where we spend more and more of our time. But for a growing number of people, it is an out-of-control habit that interferes with normal living and causes several severe stress on family, friends, loved ones, and work. I think that's pretty important, don't you think? Because we're talking about it's out of control, right? So I would highlight where it says out-of-control habit that interferes with normal living causes. Maybe that whole thing. I think that's pretty important. All right. So Kimberly Young, a clinical director of the Center for Internet Addiction Recovery and author of the book Caught in the Net, says that about 5 to 10% of Americans, 15 to 30 million people, may suffer from internet addiction, and the problem may be even greater in countries like China, Korea, Taiwan. Why did I say Taiwan? Well, that looks weird. It's a global problem. So I think that's pretty important too, right? I would think that the 5 to 10% would probably be pretty important, pretty significant, right? So let's highlight that 5 to 10% of Americans, 15 to 30 million people, may suffer from internet addiction. So we just read that it's not in the United States, right? It's around the world. All right. So Colleen Moore, coordinator of research development at the Illinois Institute for Addiction Recovery, says she has clients from college age to early adulthood who spend 14 to 18 hours a day online. That's like 2 school days. That's crazy. All online. But Young notes that it is not just how long people spend using a computer, it's what they're doing online. So what do you think is important from just that third paragraph?
What they're actually doing online.
That's right. That's right. I think that's pretty important. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and highlight that. It's pretty important. All right. Let's go look at the 4th paragraph. To help people with their diagnosis, Young developed a test that uses 20 question survey to measure levels of internet addiction. There are no real drugs for this yet. She says it's not about medication, it's more about therapy. The estimated recovery time varies. At the Illinois Institution for Addiction Recovery, some patients need 30 to 90 days of patient treatment followed by a continuing care program. But internet addiction recovery, like any other addiction, requires lifelong treatment, experts say. So what do you think is important about this part?
About that some patients need 30 to 90 days of treatment.
That's a long time for you to have to go into recovery just for looking on the internet. That's crazy. So let's go ahead and you highlighted that part? Okay, cool. All right, last paragraph. Online gaming is the form of internet addiction. Do you play games? You game, yeah, Xbox maybe. So rapidly growing among young people. Initially, we primarily had people addicted to surfing the web, chat rooms, virtual communities, and things like that. Now we are looking more to gaming. Moore says gaming is certainly one of the things that people could get addicted to the internet because it has such compelling content. But I don't think games are any more likely to cause internet addiction than any other forms of entertainment. So I think with this part, you may think different, but I think for the last chunk, that where it says online gaming is a form of internet addiction too, do you think that's pretty important? That's basically what that last part is talking about. Alright? I think that's pretty important. Alright, so now let's look at our questions. So it says, decide if each statement is true, false, or not mentioned at all in the text. Okay? So number 1 says, the number of internet users has increased by 1,000%. No, that did not say that anywhere. If you look at the things we highlighted, all it said when we highlighted was what? It said 5% to 10%. There was nothing about 1,000%. So that's definitely not mentioned, right? There you go. All right, internet addiction affects people's lives in many different ways. What do you think? I think that is very true. Let's look and see where we can find that at. Oh, yeah, here it is. On the first, you see the first chunk, first paragraph? Where it says, out of control habit that interferes with normal living and causes severe stress on family, friends, loved ones, and work. So that's different ways, so that's definitely true. Okay. All right. Almost half of Americans spend too much time online. What do you think? I think yes, but let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, look at second paragraph where it says that 5-10% of Americans, 15 to 30 million people, may suffer from internet addiction. So yeah, definitely, that's more than half. All right, the USA is the country with the highest number of addicts. You think that's true, or what do you think?
I don't think that's true.
I don't think so either. Why do you think it's not true?
Because in the paragraph it said many start from the internet addiction and the problem may be even greater in countries like China.
That's right. So that's definitely false. That is definitely false because it did say China. That's right. All right. So then it says there are centuries to recover. It should be centers. I think that's supposed to be centers, not centuries, to recover from internet addiction. What do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if you look in the fourth paragraph where it starts out with to help people, it talks about, right? They talked about an addiction recovery place, right? So that's definitely what they're talking about for their centers to recover from it. So I would definitely think that was true. Okay, we'll put true. All right, their clients are between 14 to 18 years old.
No.
Did that say that? No, I didn't say that. So that's not even mentioned. So we're going to put a not mentioned. Okay. All right. So number 7 says internet addiction hasn't been understood very well yet. Do you think so?
I think that's true.
I think that's true because this whole paragraph was stating lots of facts about it, right? All right, so let's put true. All right, so at number 8 says it's difficult to recover from this addiction. Yeah, it is very difficult. I mean, they're talking about rehab facilities for it. That's crazy. All right, number 9 says people are mostly addicted to surfing the web, chat rooms, and social networks. I think it said that somewhere, didn't it? Trying to see where that said that at because I'm pretty sure that said that somewhere. Most likely, people are most likely addicted. Well, it says that, right? But then in that last paragraph it says online gaming. Oh, wait, look. We didn't even look at that. Look at that last paragraph where it says, initially we primarily had people addicted to surfing the web, chat rooms, virtual communities, and things like that. So that's what it says, right? So what do you think? That's true, false, or not mentioned?
True.
I think it's true too. That's right, it was mentioned. Alright, so games, last one. Games are just as addictive as other forms of entertainment.
I think so.
Oh yeah, Do you play games a lot?
No, not too much.
Not really much. Alright, so the last part says B. So it says complete the sentences according to the information given in the text. Okay? So, number 1, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we've got to look. Like number 1, we got to finish it out. But it already says it in here somewhere. We just got to find it, right? Alright, so it says, number 1 says, experts say that millions of people are getting what? So let's look back in our text and let's see where it says that at, about experts. Let's see. Experts say that millions of people Right. I think I found it. Did you find it?
No.
Not yet. I'll give you a hint. If you look in the second paragraph where it talks about Kimberly Young, if you read that, it talks about million people. Millions of people are what? They may what?
May stuff on the internet.
That's right. So it says experts say that millions of people are getting what? Addicted to what?
On the internet.
That's right. So we're going to put in that blank, we're going to put addicted. All right. So it's ADDICTED to the internet. All right. Number 2 says internet addiction causes lots of problems, but many people can't. What? Many people can't. Do you think you found it? You still haven't found it? Okay. Well, it doesn't really say it, but it kind of says it in a way. But I'm going to read, it says internet addiction causes a lot of problems, but many people can't blank. So even though it causes problems, what are people still doing? They're still on the internet, right? They're still playing the games, even though it's causing lots of problems with, just like it says in the first paragraph, interferes with normal living, causes stress on family, friends, loved ones, and work. But people are still doing it, right? So we could say, but many people can't stop, right? Because they won't stop. You gotta know. Okay. All right. So number 3, internet addiction is a bigger problem in what? We talked about that.
Only games.
Mm,
Foreign country.
Well, you're right. It could be saying online gaming, or it could be talking about what the countries, right? So you could put either one of those for that one. But I would think it would be talking about the countries. So maybe just list internet addiction is a bigger problem in, and then list where it says China, Korea, and Taiwan. Alright, last question. So recovery, I told you that sounds like it's supposed to be centers. Base their treatment on what? Then it says, and not on what? So we know that we were talking about recovery centers in paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, where it starts out to help people with their diagnosis. Okay? So let's see where it says their patients. I know what it is.
I think it'll be like the 30 days to 90 days to be like paramedical therapy to recover.
Look at the paragraph above that. Or, I mean, the sentence before that, not paragraph. Where it talks about there are no real drugs for this yet, she says. It's not about medication, it's more about therapy. So this one says, number 4 says, recovery centers base their treatment on blank and not on. So what would you think the first blank would be?
Probably therapy.
That's right, therapy. Okay, and not on.
I got downstairs.
It's okay. It's on this paragraph right here where it talks about who says it's not about medication, it's more about therapy. All right, so what do you think? And not on
Not on medication.
medication. That's right, medication. Medication. All right, good job. All right, make sure there's not a back. So make sure that you write your name on it. All right, and the reason that we did this was so that way that you in class, when you're reading a paper, right, and you're reading a passage, and it asks you questions, like especially on a test, that you can go back and you can highlight those key important things, because that helped us a lot be able to find these answers, right? All right, good job, dude. Good job.